Hi everybody, and welcome to A Fluent Life. My name is Lo, and today I'm going to be going over the basics of how to get started with a budget slash sinking fund slash cash envelope system. So when you first get started with your cash envelope system, one of the basic things that you're going to need is a notebook and an envelope and envelopes. And it doesn't matter what size envelope or what size notebook you use, just as long as you have something to keep track of all of your expenses. And the basic categories that you'll need are listed here: income, expenses, savings, your debt, Snowball, cash envelopes, and sinking funds. So with my budgeting system, these are the categories that I chose to use. And then I started off with this envelope. This is where I kept all my gas money, and I knew that every time I did my budgeting, I wanted to have at least $60 in this cash envelope. And this is what I would carry around with me in my pocketbook, and every time I went to the store, I would open it up, pull out the money, put the change, including the coins, back in, and this is how I kept track of my actual cash money. So when you look at some of the videos, you'll see that there's a little bit more of an elaborate system set up, and I might be one of those videos, but you can start very simple. You don't have to feel intimidated. You just need to be able to keep track of your income and your incoming money and your outgoing money. And that's it. And as you become more experienced, you're going to graduate into different resources that you're going to use in order to track your budget. And one of those things is going to be a budget sheet. This is the one that I use. It's available on my Etsy shop. I'll link that below. And it has all of those categories that I mentioned earlier. I just pre-filled some information so I'm not writing it in every single time. So I've got my income, I've got my expenses, I've got my debt snow down. I call it debt pay down, but it's the same thing. And then on the other side, you'll see I have my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. And then this side is for my mom and my sister. I also track theirs, but when you order this, these will be empty or they can be removed altogether. It's up to you. Along with a budget sheet, you might graduate to using a binder system. This is size A6, and then inside it has A6 envelopes, and that's where I keep all my cash. One thing that you'll notice a lot of the budgeting community does is as soon as we have a certain amount of money in our envelopes, we'll take that actual real cash money out and we'll replace it with a placeholder. This is a $1,000 slip. They also come in different denomination. I have these available on my Etsy shop as well. But once I have $1,000 cash money in this account or in my binders, I'll take that out, put this in there so I know that I have $1,000 in there, and then I'll take that real cash money and put it in the bank, because I just don't feel comfortable with having that amount of cash in my home. So like I said before, you have your A6 binder or whatever size you choose to go with, and then inside you have your A6 envelopes, and then each one of these have a category or a title, so I know what money is going where. So in date night, I chose not to stuff it. In my luxury, I think I put like $50. In the pet care, I put $50. Health and meds, I put $100. And so you're going to continue to build up in these resources. And then these would be your sinking funds, and I will explain what the sinking funds are. And then you're going to have your cash envelopes. So this is where I hold my cash envelopes. I keep track of what I'm depositing. So this is cash envelope tracker, expense tracker. Keep track of what's coming in and out. Surprisingly, I haven't spent any money out of this since I stuffed it. Right, and so this is for groceries. So I keep my grocery money in there. This one is for toiletries. Here goes gas money. And remember, I started with, before I decided to go to this envelope. And then this will probably change again. gift and giving, so on and so forth. Okay, so I talked about the A6 binder, the envelopes, the budget sheet, placeholder, and cash envelopes. Let's just go deep inside into what each one of these means so we can have a better idea of what we're doing here. Okay, so on this budget sheet, I start with my income. This is where I get paid. I like the way that I have this set up because I am able to start budgeting before I even get my paycheck. So in one pay period, this is the amount that I thought I was going to receive. And so I started budgeting and doing my cash envelopes based on that. And this was the amount that I actually received. And here's the difference. This is what I had to account for in my cash envelopes and my sinking funds. I typically don't do anything with the change. So if I actually pulled in 1903.31, that 31 cents was not counted in my cash envelopes or in any budgeting that I did. I just deal with the whole dollar amount, and then this begins to accumulate over time. So this is where I get paid. From there, I go to my expenses. Maintain what you got while you get what you want. These are the things that I have to pay. So they're my bills, my memberships, subscriptions, your mortgage or your rent. And you can also choose to split these or use your sinking funds for these, and I'll explain what sinking funds are. So right now I'm paying rent, and eventually it will shift over to a mortgage. So I just titled this as mortgage because I'm visualizing and manifesting and waiting for my closing date. But yes, so my rent, I have to pay that. My gas, like all of my utilities, the security system, all of these I have to pay. The gym membership and these subscriptions and whatnot, these are more luxuries, but they do come out of my account every month. So I count them as an expense. From there, I have my savings, and these are some of the savings that I'm doing. So your savings is where you pay yourself. This can be your challenges, this is your retirement, your regular savings, this is where you can pull in your emergency fund, but this is where you pay yourself. So I have two retirement account set up for my son and for myself. I'm participating in a $5,000 challenge and my 100 envelope challenge that I tweaked just a bit. From your savings, I already went over expenses. Okay, so then you have your debt pay down or your debt snowball. This is where you plan and you actually take action to become debt free. So the way that your debt snowball or your debt pay down works is that you attack the small debts first. So these might be a medical bill, like a small medical bill, or one of those department store credit cards, but whatever your smallest amount of debt is, that's the one that you're going to hit first. So let's say that was a $25 payment. Let's say that you do a $25 payment toward whatever that small debt is. And you are making that payment religiously, and eventually you pay it off. Well, that doesn't mean that you have an additional $25 to spend, because if you have more debt, you're going to take that $25 and apply it to the minimum payment of your other debt, your next largest debt. So let's say that the minimum payment there was $55. So now, instead of only paying $55, you're making a monthly payment of $80 to that debt. And you continue making the $80 toward that debt over and over again until you're done with that debt. You have completely paid it off. And now you're going to take this $80 and you're not looking at it as additional income. You're going to take that $80 and apply it to whatever your next largest debt is. So let's say that your next largest debt, that minimum payment is $90. And now we want to get rid of this debt here. Instead of paying $90 altogether, we're going to add this, and now you're making a $170 payment on a bill that has a minimum payment of $90. You're going to be able to get rid of this payment or get rid of this debt. get rid of this debt a lot faster than you normally would by making the minimum payment every month. And so you continue to accumulate these minimum payments that you're making so that your payments are larger, your debt shrinks quicker, and before you know it, you are debt free. Okay. So we talked about income. That is your revenue. That's the money that's coming in. Your expenses are your bills, your mortgage. These are the things that are coming out of your account every month. Then we talked about your debt snowball. Your debt snowball is how you're getting rid of your debt. And we also talked about savings, which is basically paying yourself. So then we move on to our cash envelopes. And this is going to be, you're going to actually see me stuff this today based on what I had left from paying my rent and the other expenses and whatnot. I'm going to stuff these envelopes with the amounts that you see here. So the way that the sinking funds work, I'll start here. This is money that you have and you have ready. So in case something happens, this is available. In case you want to do something, this is available. So let's say that there is an emergency and you need, I don't know, $700. One of the first things you want to track when you begin your budgeting system is your emergency fund. And the rule of thumb is to build up at least $1,000. Once you get to that $1,000 though, you're not going to stop. You're going to continue to build that emergency fund up. So when and if an emergency does happen, you have that money available and you're not scrambling and figuring out, where am I going to get the money from? Do I have to borrow the money from or something like that? And for sure, we don't want to put it on a credit card. Credit cards are advertised as being convenient. You have it there when you need it. You earn cash back, you earn rewards and points and all that. But honestly, credit cards are just a vehicle for debt. And so if you can stay away from credit cards, please do. Now, I'm not going to tell you that you have to get rid of all your credit cards. I have credit cards and I use my credit cards, but I also have the system set up to where if I use a credit card, because for example, Target, they give you 5% off of your purchases whenever you use the credit cards. So if I go to Target and I buy some items for my beauty regimen, I use my Target credit card, and then when I get home, I pay it from this envelope here. So this way I'm not carrying a balance from month to month to month. And that's the best way to use a credit card, if you ask me. All right, so sinking funds. And I do apologize if you can hear yelling and screaming in the back. My son and Mr. Son is over, and I don't know what they're doing, playing video games or watching television. They're just yelling. They're just yelling. I love them both. They are loud. All right, so anyway, with the sinking funds, to have and to have ready. So this is my son's saving account. This is the emergency fund. I know that it is March and school is still in session, but I am beginning to put money together for his back to school expenses come next school semester. If I ever have to take my other babies to the vet, I have pet care money. When we go on vacation, I'm going to have money for that. If there's any issue with my car, this does not include gas, but I can take care of that. If I find that Easy Pass has taken money from my account because I've run out of it in my Easy Pass account, so they take it from my bank account to replenish it, I have money for that. So basically, I'm just building all these funds that are specific to these categories. This way, in the event that I need money from here, again, I'm not scrambling. I don't have to pull it from a different source. I don't have to ask to borrow money. I don't have to use my credit card. I have it available because I have responsibly set it aside. This is how sinking funds work. Oh, and shout out to, I keep forgetting her name. I think it's All Dolled Up Sana or Sana So Crafty. I'm so excited about this luxury sinking fund so that whenever I feel like buying myself a nice luxury item, I've got the money available. Okay, and then we go to our cash envelopes. So I showed you that earlier. That's in this wallet here, and this is daily spending, cash on hand. All of this holds me accountable. So this is where I keep my gas money, for example, and I will be putting $20 in there when I stuff those funds. And giving, this is for work, sometimes not only for work, but you know, there's always something going on, like the Sunshine Club or whatever it's called. But I like to be able to give. Sometimes when I am around the city, I want to be able to give to those people who are less fortunate than me at the time. Or if I just want to buy something for my friends or one of my loved ones, I have that money available. And then, so for all of these, you basically decide what your categories are going to be. You can take ideas from my video, you can take ideas from other people's videos, but this is what you decide that you're going to basically carry cash around for. This is what you decide that you want to build up money for, in the case that you're going to need that money. And then, of course, you want to track your income, your expenses, how you're saving your money. And notice that even though I am saving, so if I go back over here, I'm basically saving money in my sinking funds, but this is different from this savings category because this is money that I'm not going to touch. For example, my retirement, I'm never going to touch that money, not until I'm in my 60s or 70s or whatever the age is now. My 5K challenge, when I build this up, I don't want to touch it. When I build up this $10,000 plus, I don't want to touch it because it's there for a reason. Honestly, I want to be able to leave it to my son. But if there's some crazy event where I need all this money, or maybe I want to go on an all expense paid and supplement the vacation money that like, that's what it's there for. But the way that I have it planned is I don't want to touch that money once I build it up, and I'm going to continue building it up. And with the 5K challenge and the 100 envelope challenge, I won't touch this in the case of an emergency. That's what this money is for first. So now that might be, you know, you might not be interested in a system like that. It works for me. You have to decide what's going to work for you once you start this. And we talked about your payrolls, where you get paid. And we think, honestly, we think that we get paid. Maybe I should change this to get money or something else, but we don't actually get paid from our income. All of this money is going somewhere else. Most of the money is going somewhere else. You don't actually pay yourself until you begin saving your money. This is where you actually get paid. And then on this sheet, I do have a summary of where I put all my money, my income, my savings, my expenses, and this amount, in case some of you are quick mathematicians, you're checking the amounts. These were already paid, so I did not enter it into my expenses. Like these ones that have the slashes, they weren't due or already deposited, or I paid it a different way, so I didn't count it in my expenses. But the point of this is because I work on a zero balance budget. Say that 3 times fast. So once I go through all of my categories, I want to make sure that I have nothing left over. And remember, I'm not counting the change. This is where you basically balance your budget, you take control, and you live life affluently. So hopefully this video has helped provide some clarity on how this whole budgeting system works. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I am happy to answer those questions. If you know anybody else who might be a little bit confused and looking for a little bit of clarity, please share this video with them. And please remember to subscribe to my channel. You all are helping to hold me accountable, and I am so excited to share all this information and share my journey. I am hoping that I am pushing and motivating someone else to becoming financially free, financially responsible. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you'll be among the first to know whenever I release a new video. And remember, as always, this is all a tool. You have to remember to live life affluently. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.